All right, we're here at Infamous Brewery today. I'm here with David Mescher with Armadillo Insurance. He's an independent insurance agent. And we're going to talk about the new Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac insurance guidelines. Dave, question to you. How do you think this is going to affect the insurance market?
Well, I think it's going to be, overall, I think it's a good thing because up until now, there's been pushback from the mortgage companies if the policy's not correct, but not to the way they want it. Mm-hmm. So this gives the insurance companies a lot more flexibility, gives the customer a lot more flexibility. So I should have backed up. Let's tell them real quick what the new guidelines are. So the big change that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac made is you used to have to buy an insurance policy where your roof had replacement cost coverage. So if your roof got damaged, the policy would allow a complete replacement of the roof on the nickel of the insurance company. Now they've changed that where it's cash value. So you might explain what it means, cash value, and then go into what you were going to say. Yeah, so actual cash value basically means that the insurance company factors in depreciation on the roof when they pay the claim. So for example, if it's a 15-year-old roof, they probably would discount the coverage by about 50%. In other words, instead of giving you $20,000 for your roof, they're going to give you $10,000 for your roof, then deduct the deductible after that. So overall, it's not good for the customer, but on the other hand, a lot of insurance companies won't sell a policy on an older roof unless it has actual cash value or what they call a roof schedule, whereby they're not paying the full replacement value of the roof.
So do you think this will make it easier to get coverage for older roofs?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Well, I mean, companies are already offering this coverage on roofs. The problem has been is the mortgage companies have pushed back.
Okay.
Now at least the mortgage companies are giving in, and insurance companies kind of have won the battle, so to speak, and for better or for worse. Makes the insurance premiums lower for the customer, so that's a win. But
how much do you think it will lower premiums?
That's a great question. Not probably as much as you would think. It's going to be.
Of course not.
Yeah, just get roughly 20%, something like that.
That's something. That's something. So, I mean, you may not really have any idea on this, but I'm just curious. So for an insurance policy, I mean, how much of the policy, this is a weird way of asking this question, but how much of the policy is the roof? I mean, how important is the roof to the home in terms of policy?
It's very important. Well, okay, so 60% of all home insurance claims are related to the roof.
Yeah, I knew where you were going.
In Texas, we're talking hail damage roofs.
That's incredible.
60%. So now you would think that would translate to more than a 20% decrease, but you're basically, you're largely paying for a roof through your insurance premiums.
Okay.
Because you're basically paying for all the roofs that have been damaged over the last 3 or 4 years, and they're trying to recoup their expenses on that.
So the days of hailstorm coming through and everybody gets a new roof are kind of gone, huh?
Well, I mean, if they can afford first of all, not everybody's going to be subject to this actual cash value situation. There's going to be a lot of people still have full replacement costs.
Okay.
So those, I wouldn't say it's going to be everybody. And the other thing that is kind of forgotten in all of this is most insurance companies increased the minimum deductible on hailstorms from 1% of the dwelling coverage to 2% of the dwelling coverage.
Okay.
So that is actually is impacting customers more than these roof schedules or actual cash value on their roof, especially if it's a newer roof. Now, if it's an older roof, that's going to be a big hit. Let's say you have a 20-year-old roof and they depreciate it by 70%, and the customer's only getting 30%. Obviously, that's a huge hit. But let's say your house is 5 years old, and that depreciation would only be maybe 10% at most. Maybe they probably, for that matter, have a full replacement cost, but they have, instead of a 1% deductible, they have a 2% deductible.
Okay. So let's say a typical home, $500,000. So that means that the first $10,000 of that is...
If it's a 2% deductible.
Wow.
Yes.
So that already is pretty dang steep. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what was different a few years? I mean, I remember the last hailstorm that came through Lakeway. I mean, it's been years, but I remember, I mean, good Lord, it seemed like everybody I knew got a new roof.
Yeah. Well,
how did that happen then? I mean, were the deductibles just lower?
Well, I mean, still, people will call their insurance company or their insurance agent, still file a claim, and they should. If they've got a hail damaged roof, I think they should do that. I think they should try to keep the roof as clean as possible. You don't want to have a situation where you need to sell the house and you've got a hail damaged roof, and now you've got pushback from the buyer. Oh, you need to replace the roof before I buy your house. You don't want to be in that situation. So the best thing to do is just face the music as it comes, and you get the new roof on. Yes, it's going to be an out-of-pocket expense, but I'm sorry, that's part of the responsibility you have as a homeowner. Is just, it's a maintenance thing. There's all sorts of things that you can run into on a home, like termites and stuff, things that come up that you may not, that aren't foreseeable.
Right.
Maybe you have a cracked slab as an example, all sorts of things. I mean, it's just one of the risks you take as a homeowner, that you might have to be out of pocket a lot of money. Maybe you have to refinance your house or get a loan, but I mean, that's just part of the situation,
Do you think that policies that have replacement cost coverage right now, if you just renewed that policy, do you expect those premiums to go up because of this change, or will they stay kind of the same?
Well, I don't think the change that the mortgage company is doing is going to have any impact on rates one way or the other. The insurance companies are already doing their own thing in terms of what they're, whether they're going to do replacement costs versus a percentage of replacement. If you got a policy, if a customer has a policy that's going to give full replacement cost coverage beyond 15 years, I would absolutely recommend that they keep renewing that policy. I'd say you do not. I mean, you just do not want to.
And you don't think the insurance companies will take this as an opportunity to say, no, we're not going to do that anymore?
Well, they could decide at any point in time not to renew those policies, or to renew them with a higher deductibles. I'm going to have to plead a little bit of ignorance here. I don't know. I'm sure they have to run a lot of this by the Department of Insurance. I'm not sure exactly what it takes for them to take action like that, but we've already seen that happen. We've seen a lot of policies that have, customers maybe had a policy for 20 years, and all of a sudden now, because the roof is 15 years old, it's no longer full replacement costs. Now, and then insurance companies are doing also. It varies a lot by insurance companies. Some are really, really strict, where they will, if the house if the roof is more than 6 years old, they'll not pay full replacement. But most companies are in the 10 to 15 year range.
Okay.
And then there are those, what I call legacy policies, that have been out there for a while, where you've bought the policy 10 or maybe 20 years ago. Those are, a lot of times, will still have full replacement even after. It just depends on the company. It varies all over the place. It's very
interesting.
Yeah, the only way to know is call the company or call your agent to know.
So, will there be differences for different types of roofs? So, I mean, if you've got a metal roof, how does that?
Yeah, so metal roofs, fortunately, the insurance industry recognizes that metal roofs far outlast a composition shingle roof. So these, first of all, they typically will give full replacement for a much longer period of time, 20 years, 25 years, something like that. Maybe occasionally some companies might be just down to 15, but overall, much longer time frame. And even if they do attach this roof schedule or depreciation to the policy, it's minimal percentage. It's nothing like the composition roof. You might pay 10 to to 20% at most out of pocket on that,
Interesting.
compared to
Okay.
the composition. It could be
reason to
a
get
real small. Yeah,
good reason to get a metal roof.
exactly. Yeah, I'm a big believer in metal roofs. Yeah.
Have to get a roofer on here next.
Yeah, and
to
I'll
talk to
just
a
take it a
roofer.
step further. A lot of the metal roofs these days have hail resistant rating, which they really are. They're really hail resistant, and so
Okay.
you probably can withstand a hailstorm without filing a claim in most cases.
Yeah, I know we've got a metal, and the last hailstorm that came through that everybody got a new roof for, I didn't think it was that bad a hailstorm. But yeah, I mean, we have no dimples, no nothing on our roof, so that's kind of cool. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, you got any final thoughts on this subject? Anything else we ought to know?
Well,
Anything else you think?
Yeah, I mean, overall, I think it's a good thing. I'm glad that the mortgage industry is giving in a little bit on the subject. Bad news is that customers, it's a buyer beware kind of situation, and
Sure.
You never really know what you're covered for, unfortunately, until you have the claim. Almost. I mean, especially if you got this depreciation schedule in place, you don't know where you stand on that. It might be written in the policy, it might not. You just don't know, and you don't know when that hailstorm's going to come.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. This
Absolutely.
was good. I hope everybody enjoyed it, and please join us again for another loan table.